Hi everyone, Mike here, and today I'm going to be talking to you about a physical item, something that I purchased online, got shipped to my house, and that I have in my possession. I know that's a strange distinction with supply chains, maybe that's a celebration, but also it's just something that I don't normally do on this channel. So I appreciate you bearing with me as I try out something new and experiment with new type of content. But this has been, as you can tell from the title of this video, this purchase has had genuinely the biggest impact on my travel experience of anything I've ever purchased before, which is why I wanted to take some time to show it to you and talk to you about what I did. You might see this video in January of 2022 and wonder what type of traveling I'm doing. My family has been since July of 2020, we have been trying to visit all of the national parks in the United States. We have visited 8 and have really enjoyed the experience. It's been amazing to see the natural beauty in the United States. Hopefully, eventually we'll be able to see other areas and see the amazing world that we live in. The first half of those experiences were really frustrating for me, even though they were magical and amazing. They were really frustrating for me as the tech person in the house. My wife, son, and I are going on these trips, and as the tech person, it is kind of my responsibility to make sure that everybody has all of the chargers and adapters and things like that they need. So that was stressful because it's a high stakes thing, right? If somebody can't charge their iPad, heaven forbid the trip is going down in flames. But so that was an important thing to make sure that I got it right. In addition to all the other stress of getting ready for a trip, I wanted to make that go away. So over the course of a couple of months of purchasing and putting things together, I have my answer. And that's what the video is about today. This bag is a Peak Design tech pouch, and I love Peak Design, the company. They make really good stuff, but they're also a very environmentally and socially conscious company. Everything is carbon neutral, and they ethically source all of their equipment and labor to make everything. So it is nice to be able to pay a company that takes the time to do those extra steps to be a force of good in the world. But they also just make really good stuff. So it's a perfect combination. This bag is called the Tech Pouch. It is has nylon coating, and it is has some weather resistance built into it, which is always a nice addition. I mean, you can't soak it underwater or anything like that, but it does provide some good protection. It has one big zipper around the outside, and it has these 2 little straps that you can put your hands in when you go to open it. And then when you open it, it opens into a big pouch. And so this is nice for making sure, like, if you're to keep it nice and secure while you're digging around inside. But I can't say that I use them too much, but it's a nice little addition. But to go through this bag, I'm going to introduce an additional camera angle. Using an overhead camera for the first time, but I think it'll be helpful to be able to look at everything that's inside of the bag. So what is in here are chargers, cables, adapters, and a couple other little accessories to have in one place at all times, so I never have to worry about packing this bag when we go on a trip. It stays in my suitcase, packed up, ready to go. I never go in here to get anything out to use for something around the house. Things that are in this bag typically do not see the inside of my house, right? They just stay in the bag and stay in my suitcase. But for my family, there are 3 of us. I travel with an iPad Pro, an iPhone 10, iPhone 10s, I should say, and an Apple Watch Series 4. My wife travels with an iPhone SE Edition 2 and an Apple Watch Series 3. And my son travels with one of the baseline iPads from several years ago. I forget which one. So I need chargers for all of those things. Oh, and he also has a Fitbit, one of the kid Fitbits. So I need chargers for all of those things. And that's the first thing you see in the bag. When you open up the bag, it has these dividers. They call them like origami inspired dividers. But it's nice because the outsides are stretchy, even though the inside is kind of a durable, I don't know what that material is, not canvas, probably just nylon, but the outside is elastic or has a little stretch to it. So I have inside of 3 of those areas these bundles of cables. So this one is the iPad cable because it has two 6-foot cables. One of them is Lightning and the other is USB-C. So it's for my son's iPad and my iPad. Both of them are 6 feet long, and I have them bundled together with a bongo tie, which are awesome. I'll talk more about those in a little bit, but bongo ties for all the things. And this is nice because I'll just take this out, and where we are going to plug in our iPads and charge them, it's nice to just go take care of the iPad. So I just pull that out and go charge that. And then I have a bundle for the phones. So a bundle from me and a bundle for my wife. It's a Lightning cable and a watch charger, but it is a 2 meter long. So it's like 6.5 feet long cable. The Anker charger is 6 feet long. I wanted to go with the longer cables because staying in an Airbnb or in a hotel, not quite sure how far away the outlets are going to be from the bedside. So I wanted to have the longest cable I could find for an Apple Watch, which is really expensive. It's like $40. I think it might be the single most expensive thing in the bag, except for the bag itself, is one of these Apple Watch charging cables at $40. The rest of the cables, by the way, are all Anker products. I just got the cheapest ones that I could find that were that long that I needed them to be. I think they are the Powerline Plus 2s. I'll have a link in the description down below that'll take you to a post on my website that'll have all the things that I purchased and how much it costs, as well as a spreadsheet to show you how much I actually spent. Total price to put this tech pack together. Some of it's stuff I had in the house before. A lot of it is stuff I purchased specifically for this, but it's also been stuff I purchased over time too. So I didn't go out and drop like $200 on everything. It was, I'd do a trip and like, oh, need to put that in the bag. So there's one of these, which is charging for either myself or my wife, and another identical bundle. And that's the slots in the middle. There's a third slot, fourth slot that I didn't use in the middle, but I don't have a use for it right now. And then there is also this space in the very middle of the bag where I have more of the bongo ties. So I'll talk about those just for a second. If you don't know about bongo ties, it's hard to look at it and be like, oh, well, that's amazing. There's just some nice, it's a big rubber band with a piece of wood shaped like a bongo drum on the other side. So that's what they're called, bongo ties. But you can put a couple of them together to make something even longer. And then you can strap that around something. I use them all over the place. I think I saw them suggested by Peter McKinnon on one of his videos. And I was like, I put one in a bag or in my shopping cart for like B&H one time. Like, I'll see what it's all about. And now there are bongos ties all over my house. They're great and they're cheap. They're like $6 for a 10-pack, and I have them doing lots of cable management things, but it's also really helpful to have some extras to be able to fasten things together temporarily, or in my studio here, I have a lot of things kind of permanently organized with bongo ties. So there's just some extras in there in case I need them. And then the other side that I use the most is this side over here, because inside of here are the 3 chargers that I use. They're very small, almost a cube. They're a little bit taller than they are deep, but they're small. As you can see, I could fit 3 of them in my hand, and there's one for each of the bundles. There's 2 USB-A charging ports on there. The prongs fold down, so it fits nice and easy in here. And there's a built-in surge protector in these. These are the Anker. Again, pretty much everything cable power related I get from Anker. I like them a lot. This is the Anker PowerPort Mini. It came in a 2-pack, so I bought two packs, and the fourth one's around my house somewhere. But they're great, super light, easy. It fits my situation perfectly because I have like doubles of everything, and they were a really nice addition to the bag. Also on this side is a nothing special about this. This is just an Insignia USB-C to SD and micro SD card reader. And this is for my iPad. I can use it for the laptop as well, but I'm using the laptop less and less on trips and just using the iPad. I have a nice camera, the one that's up top, and this will be what I take on the trip and do all the photos with. So when I come home, we get back to the hotel room or the Airbnb, I'll plug the cable in to the iPad, import all the photos to Lightroom, and then let Lightroom sync them to my Adobe Cloud, and I'll keep them on the card. And I haven't run out of space on the card yet, but I'll keep them on the card for the whole trip. This is just here so I can have a backup and never not be able to save the photos from the trip if there's some type of catastrophe with the camera, right? Because, you know, Pixar didn't happen, right? So I got to have the photos of the trip. So I have that in here just to make sure that that happens. Also in here on this side are some, on the very side are more pouches. This is using another bongo tie. These are just some USB-A to micro USB, I think, or whatever, one of the small USB ones. This is to charge the Anker battery packs. So I have one in here, I have one in my hiking backpack, and I have one in my camera backpack. And so this is just if I need to charge the batteries for the Anker external batteries. 2 cables to be able to do that should I need. And then this is the charger for my son's Fitbit. It is like a knockoff that I got on Amazon. So I'm not even gonna link to it because it's not very good. You have to set it up just right for it to charge. Maybe I'm just spoiled because of the Apple Watch charger, but this is for a Fitbit, and it's, again, not great. But I got a bongo tie over here. For shorter trips, he doesn't need it, but for longer trips, we have to piece it together and make sure that it can charge his Fitbit while we're on our trip. And that's everything on this side. This is just it's just a little Anker Velcro strap that comes with the Anker cables. It's in there for some reason. All right, so on the other side, this is a purchase that I made from B&H. It's an Easy Quest 6-foot cable. It's a USB-C to a full HDMI. So I like having this to take my iPad and plug my iPad into the TV that is in the hotel or Airbnb if we need to. A couple times we've been on some of those trips and the internet goes out or it's just not working well. And so I'll have some movies downloaded on my iPad from Plex to be able to plug in and project onto a TV to be able to watch them should we need to. So I don't use this cable anytime other than when we're on a trip, so it stays in the bag, but I don't use it that often. So that's my idea for this side of the pouch over here, is that these are the less used items. So put that up here. And then there's also an Anker battery pack in here. It's just a little one. Picked it up from I think Target, like on a clearance, so it was maybe like 10 or 15 bucks. But this is the Anker Astro E1. It's a 6700 milliamp charger, so it's good enough in a pinch to have over here. As I mentioned before, I have 2 other bigger battery packs that are elsewhere, but this is a nice little extra to have. And then this other red cable that you see in here is another Anker charger. Again, Team Anker all the way. But it goes through a pass-through hole that is in the bag. And that's why I leave it in here, and it's on this side where the battery pack is, because there is, slide that on. I'll put that over here for now. There's a zipper side over here where that pass-through comes out. And then so you can put your phone in here, charge it, put it in there, and have your phone charging, but being kind of secure and in this area. So that's a nice little addition, is that charging cable pass through over there, which is a nice little touch, I think. But again, the bag is about the size of a football, and it's really light, it's waterproof, it's carbon neutral, it's ethically made and sourced. So I'm a big fan. There are a couple other things in here which I don't use in this particular one. There's some pen holders or pencil holders on each side. And then there are additional origami pouches in those areas and a zipper in the very inside, which again has nothing in there except for Peak Design sticker, which is nice. Never seen that before. And there's, you put SD card slots or something like that in there, but I don't use many of the little pockets. But it is a great bag because it had some extensibility. I can put more things in there and do other things with this bag, but it really fits everything that I need it to fit. And it just lives in my suitcase. And I think just having the stress of the cables being packed, the chargers being packed, the adapters being packed, not to sit there trying to get something to work on the TV and realize that you don't have the cable. Just like the peace of mind of having all of that in one place all the time is awesome. And I know it's awesome because my wife did not like this idea. She didn't want me to spend the money to put all this stuff together. But then when her and my son went on a little weekend trip with the two of them, she asked me for the bag. So that's how I knew that I had won her over, because she is a big fan of the bag now because it has everything in there and it's all ready to go. Now I had to fix it when she was done with it, but it's got her approval at this point in time. So I would highly encourage you to think about something like this. If you travel frequently enough, these days we're traveling small little weekend trips or something like that. We probably do one of those every 6 to 8 weeks. Sometimes visiting family, sometimes visiting a national park, or sometimes just doing something out of town, get out of the house and have some variety in our day-to-day experiences. So this is definitely worth it for me. I've greatly benefited from and enjoyed having these items with me on every trip without having to think about it. So I encourage you to think about what you can put together into a bag. Maybe it doesn't have to be a Peak Design tech pouch. Maybe it's just a old pencil case that you start with, or something else that you have laying around the house that you can repurpose. But having just a bag of cables in my travel suitcase ready to go is a luxury that I didn't know I wanted. And I'm so glad that I have finally taken the time to put together. I'd encourage you to think about doing the same. So this video, again, is new. It's something different I've never done before. I've never done a equipment review video, but hopefully it introduced you to a couple things that were interesting. Hopefully you found it useful. If you did, please consider liking, sharing, or subscribing. If you want to see any of the stuff, the links to buy the things that I bought, or how much I spent, again, there's a link down in the video description below that will take you to a post on my website where I'll break all that down. And down there, you'll also find some timestamps to help you bounce back into the video if you want to see any of the things again. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and put everything back into this bag so you can see that process if you're interested in that. Otherwise, I appreciate you being here and checking out the video. I am genuinely interested in your thoughts, so if you have a few minutes to leave a comment down below to let me know what you think, I appreciate it. I'm always trying to get better and make better videos. I do have an automation video planned coming up, so if you are here for the automation content, and got a tech review, a tech pouch review. I promise that the next video is going to be an automation themed video, and it's pretty interesting, I think. It's going to feature Hazel and AppleScript, which are not frequent appearances on my channel, but I think it's definitely that combo has some really awesome capability that needs to be talked about. So almost done. So there it is. My tech pouch all put back together and ready to go back in the suitcase for the next adventure. Thanks again for being here, and we'll see you next time.